So as I told you yesterday, in case of RC phase shift oscillator, we are going to just understand about the circuit. There is no derivation for frequency of oscillation. Okay, in case of Wien bridge oscillator, you have you need to derive the frequency for oscillations. Okay. Now coming to the RC phase shift oscillator. I've just written here as phase shift oscillator. Actually, it is RC phase shift oscillator. So why it is called as RC phase shift oscillator? You already know because I told you the different categories of the oscillator. So this oscillator uses the components R and C. That's why it is RC phase shift oscillator. Now one more thing to recall here. If you see the structure of the oscillator, yesterday I had told you, it consists of the amplifier part and it consists of the feedback part. So let me take that as beta and the amplifier part as A. And you also know if this circuit which has the amplifier module and the feedback module, if it has to generate the sustained oscillations, the total phase shift around this loop should be 0 degree or 360 degrees, and the product of open loop gain A into the feedback factor beta should be equal to 1. Now, you take any oscillator. So one thing is, if I have to ensure that the total phase shift around this loop should be 0 degree or 360 degree, I have to properly design this amplifier and select the feedback part. So like I can say, if I select an amplifier such that it provides me 0 degree phase shift, then I should select the feedback circuit such that it also gives me 0 degree phase shift, because the net phase shift around this loop will be 0 degree. That's how I have to select. Now what will happen if I select an amplifier which gives me 0 degree phase shift, but if I select a feedback which gives me 180 degree phase shift, the total phase shift around this loop becomes 180 degree. So it is not satisfying the Barkhausen criteria. So you can't get the oscillation. Okay. So you have to keep in mind that if you are designing an oscillator which has two modules in it, that is the amplifier module and the feedback module, select them properly. If amplifier is producing a phase shift of 0 degree, beta should, that is the feedback should produce a phase shift of 0 degree, so that the total phase shift is 0 or 360. And if amplifier is producing a phase shift of 180 degrees, then the beta, that is the feedback, should also produce a phase shift of 180 degrees, because the net phase shift around this loop becomes 360 degrees. Is that clear? So that's how we have to select the components. Now here we are going with the RC phase shift oscillator. So RC phase shift oscillator is the basic oscillator which uses the RC components, and the type of waveform it generates is the sinusoidal waveform, and it generates the frequency in audio frequency range. Okay, so it uses RC components, it generates the sinusoidal output, and the range of frequency it generates will fall under audio frequency range. And this RC phase shift oscillator along with the amplifier, okay, has an cascade, the combination of this RC elements. Okay, so along RC phase shift oscillator has an amplifier and it has the feedback part, the feedback network, which has the RC components. So you can see this is the circuit which is the feedback network along with the amplifier. This forms the feedback network of the oscillator. Now here we have three stages of RC network. This is the complete feedback network in which we have three stages of RC combination. Why are we going for this three stage of RC combination? Because every RC combination will introduce a phase shift of 60 degrees. So this is going to introduce the 60 degrees, and this RC combination is going to introduce a 60 degrees, and this RC is going to introduce a 60-degree phase shift. So the net phase shift introduced by this complete feedback network is 180 degrees. Now why am I going for this RC combination which is giving me a 180-degree phase shift? There is a reason for this, I'll tell you. And you can also see to this feedback network, I'm giving an input waveform like this, and at the end of it, it is just getting inverted. That means you can observe that the phase difference between the input and output is 180 degrees. So this network is introducing a phase shift of 180 degrees. Okay, so whatever I have shown you here is just a feedback network. Your oscillator should also have an amplifier, right? So let me show you the complete circuit. Okay, so this is the complete circuit of the RC phase shift oscillator, where this forms the amplifier part, this forms the amplifier part, and this forms the feedback part. Okay, so the feedback part is the combination of RNC. So this forms the feedback part. Now, I think by now you could have understood why I'm going for an RC phase shift network, which is introducing a phase shift of 180 degrees. So you can just relate it. How? If you observe this amplifier, you already know about the op-amp circuits, right? So if you keenly observe this amplifier, which is using op-amp, you can see that the non-inverting terminal is grounded. That means we are providing input to, that is input, that is the feedback signal as input to which terminal? Inverting terminal. That means what? Your amplifier is configured in inverting mode. So you all know when the amplifier is configured in inverting mode, what is the output phase? It produces an output here which is 180 degrees with respect to the input. So now, since the selected amplifier is going to introduce a phase shift of 180 degrees, we have to select a feedback network such that it also gives me 180 degrees, such that the overall phase shift in this loop, that is this feedback loop, should be 360 degrees or 0 degrees. So hence, I am getting 360 degrees. So from this circuit, you are able to get the sustained oscillations. Okay. So RC phase shift oscillator has an amplifier part which is working in inverting mode. Okay. So which provides a phase shift of 180 degrees, and its feedback has the RC elements. Each stage of RC elements introduces a phase shift of 60 degrees. So three stages combined together introduce a phase shift of 180 degrees, such that for sustained oscillation, the Barkhausen criteria is satisfied. Okay, and what is the other condition? The other condition is A into beta should be equal to 1. Okay, so what is A? That is the open loop gain. Open loop gain. So A into beta should be equal to 1. So for our RC phase shift oscillator, we select the elements which contribute for the gain. What are the elements which contribute for the gain? RF and R1. Okay, so you have to properly select them such that this amplifier gives us a proper gain A, in turn satisfying the Barkhausen criteria, that is A into beta should be equal to 1. So for this oscillator, we designed the circuit in such a way that A is equal to 29. We design such that A is equal to 29. This is fixed for this RC phase shift oscillator. Okay, I cannot show you this because I need to do the derivation if I have to prove how A is 29. So as of now, as per syllabus, there is no derivation. So I'm just telling you the amplifier has the gain of 29. Now if A is 29 and if the Barkhausen criteria AB should be equal to 1, then as per this, your beta should be equal to 1 over 29. So this is how we select the amplifier and the elements of the feedback network. So you have to select the elements of the amplifiers. You have to select the elements RF and RI such that it provides gain of 29, and to satisfy the Barkhausen criteria, that is AB is equal to 1, the feedback network has to be selected such that it gives me beta of 1 over 29 such that AB becomes equal to 1. Okay, so this is the condition for sustained oscillation. Okay, the total phase shift and the product of A into beta. Next is, what is the equation for the frequency of oscillation? So on what factors that frequency depends? Of course, on this, the elements which are present in the circuit. So the frequency of oscillation for RC phase shift oscillator is given by 1 over 2 pi RC root of 6. Okay. So this is the frequency of oscillation. So F is equal to, okay, I'll just write here itself. F is equal to 1 over 2 pi RC root of 6. So using this, you can find out what is the frequency of oscillation for this amplifier. Sorry, for this oscillator. So here, whatever I explained the previous time, same thing is being given here. Okay, so gain is 29 and beta is 1 over 29. So op-amp is operated in inverting mode. So it introduces 180-degree phase shift. RC feedback network also gives you 180 degrees. Okay, and you have to select the gain of the amplifier by adjusting RF and R1. So this is about the RC phase shift oscillator. Now coming to what are the advantages of going for RC phase shift oscillator. The basic thing is, because it's a very basic oscillator, I can say the circuit is very simple to design. Yes, it has only an amplifier which is working in inverting configuration and the feedback which has R and C components. So the circuit is simple to design, and as I told you, it can produce the output over audio frequency range. So the frequency of oscillation that is produced, it falls under audio frequency range. And this also I told you, it produces a sinusoidal output waveform. And one more thing is, it is a fixed frequency oscillator. That is, once you are designing with the amplifier gain and the values of R and C, so whatever values you are designing for that design, one frequency will be generated. So it is a fixed frequency oscillator. You cannot change the frequency. Okay. So what are the disadvantages? So this becomes a disadvantage. I told you that fixed frequency, right? So the disadvantage is, if you want to change the frequency of oscillation, because our frequency of oscillation is given by 1 over 2 pi RC root of 6. So you need to change the values of R and C if I want to change the F. So if you want to change, then if you want to change the frequency of oscillation, I have to change the R and C, and I need to change all the 3 stages of R and C simultaneously to satisfy the oscillating condition. That is what? Beta should be equal to 1 over 29. A beta should be equal to 1. So all the 3 R's and the 3 C's. Okay. So all has to be changed simultaneously to satisfy the oscillating condition if I want to change the frequency of oscillation. And the other one is, the stability is poor when compared to, I cannot say this is giving me less stability. It is only that when compared to the other oscillators, the stability is poor in case of RC phase shift oscillator. So now what we do is, we go to the other circuit where the stability is improved over this circuit, and that is the Wien-Bridge oscillator. So before going to the Wien-Bridge oscillator, let us see a small example on the RC phase shift oscillator. So this is an example where all the values of R and C is being given. You have to find out the frequency of sorry, uh, the frequency of oscillation is given. You have to find out the values of RNC for the corresponding uh, frequency. Okay. So I have here the question goes like this. Find the value of RNC for an output frequency of 1 kilohertz. So you have that RC phase shift oscillator which gives me F is equal to 1 kilohertz. You have to design the values of RNC. How can you design? You need to take this expression for frequency. So you already know for an RC phase shift oscillator, what is F given by? 1 by 2 pi RC root of 6. Now there are two unknowns here. One is R and other one is C. What I can do is I can assume one value and I can find out the other value. So let me assume C is equal to 0.1 microfarad. So let me substitute here. So we have F is equal to 1 by 2 pi RCC. RC into root of 6, right? Now I know F, it is 1 kilohertz. Excuse me. Now I know C, which is 0.1 microfarad. I need to find out R. So let me cross multiply. So I get R is equal to 1 over 2 pi F C root of 6. Okay. So now I take 2 pi, F is 1 kilohertz, C is 0.1 microfarad and root of 6. So you can verify the answer. So this is the R value. Fine. So this was about the RC phase shift oscillator, the frequency of oscillation, the condition for sustained oscillation, and this was the example on RC phase shift oscillator. Now let us move on towards the Wien-Bridge oscillator. So Wien-Bridge oscillator, it is also a RC oscillator. It also uses RC network. Okay, and this also generates sine wave. This also generates sine wave, but the advantage of this over the RC phase shift oscillator is it has good stability. It has good stability. The distortion is very less. That is the advantage. But otherwise, it is same as your RC phase shift oscillator. Like it also uses RC network and it also generates the sine wave. But feedback, what is that? Stability is improved and less distortion. Okay. Now, why it is called as Wien-Bridge oscillator? Because the Wien-Bridge oscillator is derived. It is based on the Wheatstone bridge. It is based on the Wheatstone bridge, frequency selective form of the Wheatstone bridge. And this Wien-Bridge oscillator has two stages of RC elements. Like in the RC phase shift oscillator, you had three stages of RC elements, right? Similarly, here in the Wien-Bridge oscillator, you have two stages of RC elements. Okay, and Wien-Bridge is derived from the Wheatstone bridge. So let us see the circuit of Wien-Bridge oscillator. Yeah, this is the Wien-Bridge oscillator, where you know what are the different modules of an oscillator. It should have an amplifier and it should have a feedback network. So you can observe here, this is the amplifier which is using a op-amp, and this is the bridge, Wien-Bridge. So it has 4 arms. In this arm, you can see a combination of RNC in series, and this arm you can see the combination of RNC in parallel, and this arm has only RF, and here it has only R3. That's why I told the Wien-Bridge oscillator has two stages of RC elements. Here I told no, two stages of RC components. So this is one stage and this is one stage. Now, if I look at this circuit, I think I cannot make out like how it forms that feedback. Now, because everything is like this node is connected to the inverting terminal and this node is connected to the non-inverting terminal. So let me redraw this circuit in a way so I can easily understand how is this amplifier and how the feedback is taken from the output and how it is fed back to the amplifier. Okay, so let me redraw this to analyze the circuit properly. So that circuit will show you properly the amplifier part and the feedback part. So let me show you that circuit. So this is the circuit. So I can just relate this circuit with the previous one. So I have here amplifier. I can just show you here. So I have an amplifier. Okay, so this is the output. Let me go back to the previous circuit. So you can see to the inverting terminal I have R4, and in turn that is going to the output. So you can just see here the inverting terminal I have R4 and that is going to the output. Fine. Next, inverting terminal R3 and then going to ground. So inverting terminal R3 and that is going to ground. Fine. Next, here after ground you have, let me continue like this. Now here R3 is going to ground. Now from this R2 and C2, they form the parallel combination and they are going to ground. See here from the non-inverting terminal. So this is the non-inverting terminal. I just trace here. You can see non-inverting terminal. It is going to the parallel combination of R2 and C2, which is in turn going to ground. So you can see here non-inverting terminal, parallel combination of R2 and C2 going to ground. In turn, this point is connected to, this one is connected to the series combination of C1 R1, and that end is going to the output of the amplifier. Yeah, you can see here. In turn, this series of R and C, and in turn going to the output of the amplifier. So in this circuit, you can easily understand this part is the amplifier part. Yes, and this is the RC feedback circuit. Okay, now either in the feedback circuit, in the oscillator, the total phase shift should be 0 degree or 360 degrees for Barkhausen criteria. Yes, the earlier circuit, that is the RC phase shift oscillator, we saw that the amplifier was in inverting mode. So it was giving us 180 degree phase shift. That's how we selected a feedback circuit which was giving us 180 degree phase shift. But if you observe, and the connection was also different there. RC was connected, the 3 RC was connected in a different way. But here you can see the RC combinations are connected in a different way. Why? Because this amplifier, you can see the inverting terminal is being grounded. The inverting terminal is grounded and it is receiving the feedback signal at the non-inverting terminal. That means what? This amplifier is working in non-inverting mode. So what is the phase shift introduced by the non-inverting amplifier? It is 0 degrees. Fine. So if it is giving me 0 degree phase shift, then how should I select the feedback circuit? It should also give me 0 degree phase shift. Only then the total phase shift around this loop will be 0 degrees. So this feedback network, which has 2 stages of RC with one series connection and parallel connection, they are giving us 0 degrees phase shift such that the overall phase shift is 0 degree in order to satisfy the Barkhausen criteria. Okay. So now here let us see what is the condition for sustained oscillation. One condition I showed, that is total phase shift is 0 degree. The other condition is we should also check whether A into beta is equal to 1. So if A into beta has to be equal to 1, we should find out what should be the A value and what should be the beta value. Let us derive this. Okay, so for this circuit, we are deriving the frequency of oscillation and we are also deriving what is the condition for sustained oscillation. So I think now we are clear with the amplifier part, the feedback part, and the phase shift introduced. Now to derive the frequency of oscillation, I'll consider only the feedback part. So the feedback part has two stages of RC. In one RC they are in series, in other RC they are in parallel. So I've considered only the feedback part. Now you can just observe here. I've just considered the feedback part. So I've redrawn here C and R, which is in series, and C and R, which is in parallel. Now for this feedback element, which is the input is from the output, right? Input is from the output of this oscillator. So here please don't get confused with this input and output. Here I refer this input as the input to the feedback circuit. So I'm getting the input to the feedback circuit from this output, and the output of the feedback is given to the amplifier. So in turn this goes to the amplifier, and this input we get from the output of the amplifier. So you are not supposed to get confused with this V naught and V. Okay. Now we are here to derive the frequency of oscillation. So observe the circuit clearly. Here I have the combination of C and R in series. Let me call that as Z1. And here I have the parallel combination of R and C. Let me call this as Z2. Now first, for this network, let me find out the expression for V out. Now to find out the expression for V out, I can redraw this circuit and find out V out by using potential divider rule. So just observe how I am redrawing. This is the input to this network, right? V in. Now to this V in I have connected. This is our Z1, and to this Z1 we have Z2 here. And where are we taking output? Z1 and Z2. Here I am taking the output. See? So here I am taking the output. So using the potential divider rule, I can say V out is equal to Z2 into V in divided by Z2 into V in divided by Z1 plus Z2. Voltage divider rule. Yes, that is what I have written here. So can you see here? Yeah. V out is equal to V in into Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. Or I have taken V into the left hand side. Okay. So you can get V out. We can get V out divided by V in is equal to Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. Okay. Now what is, let us substitute for Z2 and Z1. What is Z2? Parallel combination of C2 and R2. So Z2 is parallel combination of R2 and C2. C2, instead of C2 I have taken its reactive capacitive reactance 1 divided by J omega C2. So these two are in parallel, right? So parallel combination. If two resistors are in parallel, how do you find the total resistance? How do you find? R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So here I have the same thing. I have R1 R2. So R2 into R1 is what? 1 divided by J omega C2 divided by R1 plus R2. R2 plus 1 divided by J omega C2. So here the denominator, if I take LCM, I get J omega C2, right? So I get J omega C2 into R2 plus 1, and in the numerator I have R2 divided by j omega C2. So this j omega C2, and here in the denominator j omega C2 will get cancelled. So I am left with R2 divided by 1 plus j omega C2. So let me substitute that Z2 here. Okay, and in the denominator I have Z1 plus Z2. What is Z1? Z1 is the series combination of R1 and C1. So it is just series combination. R1 plus 1 divided by j omega C1. Fine. This is Z1 and this is Z2. In turn, if I have to simplify, what I do, in the denominator I take j omega C1 and 1 plus j omega C2 R2. I'll take it as LCM. Now if I take this as LCM, R1 into j omega C1 into 1 plus j omega C2 R2, yes, plus 1. So plus 1 into j omega C1, and in the LCM j omega C1 will get cancelled, right? So I have 1 in. So I have R2 into j omega C1. Yeah, you can see here. R2 into C1, and in the numerator I have R2 divided by 1 plus j omega R2 C2. Now what will happen here? In the numerator I have 1 plus j omega R2 C2, and in the denominator I have LCM j omega C1 into 1 plus j omega C2 R2, right? So what will happen? This 1 plus j omega C2 R2 and this 1 plus j omega C2 R2 will get cancelled. So I am left with R2 into j omega C1. That is in the numerator. So further we can simplify. Are you all there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see the PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I got
Ma'am,
a
can you
doubt.
upload
That's
these
why.
PPTs, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm uploading. No, are you not getting?
Ma'am, this you have uploaded till OPAM's paper
Okay.
solution.
Yeah. Once I complete totally, I'll upload. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Shall I complete this? Okay. Yeah. So further, I can simplify this. Yeah. So what I can do? So you can see the element here, R1 into j omega C1. So this I can multiply. If I multiply, yeah, this is what I'm getting finally. V naught by Vn is equal to j omega R2 C1 into this. After multiplication, I'm taking j omega as common. Now, coming to what are we trying to do here from by taking the feedback network? We are trying to find out the equation for the frequency of oscillation. I'm trying to find out the equation for F. Now I have got this V naught by Vi of the feedback network as this equation. Now from this, how will I find the frequency of oscillation? It's very simple. You know already that in case of Wien-Bridge oscillator, the feedback is not going to introduce any phase shift. The phase shift is 0, correct? If the phase shift has to be 0, and in the feedback, the equation whatever I got for this feedback, the J element should not be there. If you just remember, in a complex quantity, whenever I have to find out the phase shift, there should be J. If it is just real, I cannot find out the phase. Yes. So since this is not introducing any feedback, so the J element should vanish. Now in this equation, you can see if the J element should vanish, this term has to become 0. If this term whichever I have circled, if this term becomes 0, then you can see this J and J will get cancelled, and in the expression for the feedback, that is V naught by V in, I have only the real terms. Okay, so if I have to get only the real terms, because it will introduce 0 degree phase shift, I have to make this quantity encircled equal to 0. So I am making 1 minus omega square R1 R2 C1 C2 equal to 0, or omega square into R1 R2 C1 C2 is equal to 1, or omega is equal to, what is omega square? Omega square is equal to 1 divided by R1 R2 C1 C2, or omega is equal to root of R1 divided by R1 R2 C1 C2. What is omega? Omega is equal to 2 pi f. Yes, now you are getting the equation for oscillation. So I substitute omega is equal to 2 pi f. Now f is equal to 1 over 2 pi root of R1 R2 C1 C2. Now this is your frequency of oscillation. I think even this is important for your exam. They might ask you to derive the frequency of oscillation. Yes, we have got this. Now, if at all you are selecting the values of R1, R2, C1, C2 as to be same, that is, if R1 is same as R2, C1 is same as C2, then your frequency reduces, because the square root will vanish, because R1 and R2 are same, right? So R into R square. So root goes, C into C square, the root goes. So you have F is equal to 1 by 2 pi RC. Yes, this is about the frequency of oscillation. Next, what is remaining? The next part is condition for sustained oscillation. So condition for sustained oscillation, one condition is that 0 degree. What is the other condition? Other condition is A into beta should be equal to 1. If A into beta should be equal to 1, what should be the value of A and what should be the value of B? Let us find out that. It's very simple. Now, we made in this expression V naught by V in, whatever expression we got, to find out the frequency, this term we made equal to 0. Yes. After making this term equal to 0, what is left out? J omega R2 C1 divided by this whole thing. And in this, once again, J omega will get cancelled. So I have, now come back here, V naught by V in is equal to R2 into C1 divided by this sum of these components. Yes, R2 C1 divided by R1 C1 plus R2 C2 plus R2 C1. This is what we are left out after making the term, that is this term, equal to 0. Actually, what is this V naught by V in? I told this V naught by V in is nothing but the output and input of the feedback circuit. Now, how do you represent this feedback circuit? By beta. Yes, right? We represent the feedback network as beta. So I can take this quantity is equal to beta. So this is actually our beta. Now once again I am repeating, please don't consider this V naught and V in as the output of the amplifier or input of the amplifier. This is the output and input of the feedback circuit. Okay, so this I am equating it to beta because this equation we have got for the feedback network. So this is our beta. Now if beta is equal to the ratio of this, what will be 1 by beta? Same thing, you invert. So if I invert, what is happening? R2C1 is going to the denominator, and in the numerator I have R1C1 plus R2C2 plus R2C1. So if I divide every element, I am getting here C1 will get cancelled, right? So I have R1 divided by R2. Next in this term, I have R2 and R2 will get cancelled. So I have C2 by C1. Yes. And the last combination. R2C1, R2C1 will get cancelled. I have 1. Now this is what is that we are getting, which is equal to 1 over beta. Now what am I doing after this? Now this is 1 over beta, right? Now what I do here, I take the gain of the amplifier. Go back to your circuit. What is our amplifier? Operational amplifier. In which mode it is working? It is working in non-inverting mode. So what is the gain of the non-inverting mode? Gain is equal to 1 plus RF by R1. Do you remember? It is 1 plus RF by R1. RF is the feedback resistor and R1 is the resistor what we are grounding. Now in place of RF, what I have? I have R4. In place of R1, what I have? R3. So the gain of the amplifier is 1 plus R4 by R3, which I am making equal to R1 by R2 plus R2 C2 by C1 plus 1. What is this? This is 1 over beta. So I am making A equal to 1 over beta because I need to find out what is A to satisfy this condition. What is the condition? A into beta is equal to 1. So I am making A equal to 1 over beta. What is A? Gain of the amplifier 1 plus R4 by R3. What is 1 over beta? We have calculated here. This value. Fine. And substituting here. Now what is happening? This plus 1 and plus 1 will get cancelled. So we are left with R4 by R3 equal to R1 by R2 plus C2 by C1. So this is the condition for sustained oscillation. Still I need to find out what is A. So what I do, I take R1 is equal to R2 and C1 is equal to C2. If R1 is equal to R2, R and R will get cancelled. So I have 1 here. C1 and C2 are equal. This and this will get cancelled. So I have 1 here. What is 1 plus 1? 2. So I get R4 by R3 is equal to 2. If R4 by R3 is equal to 2, what is A? I have A is equal to 1 plus R4 by R3. If this is 2, and what is A? A is 3. Fine? Yeah. This is the required condition. So for a Wien bridge oscillator, the amplifier what we use should have a gain of 3. And if A is 3, what is beta? Beta is equal to 1 over A. So beta is 1 over 3. In turn, A into beta is equal to 1. So that's how we have reached the condition for sustained oscillation. Fine. So this is about the Wien bridge oscillator, its operation and the derivation of the frequency of oscillation and the condition for sustained oscillation. Actually, this is the condition for sustained oscillation. Only if this condition is satisfied, I get A is equal to 3 and beta is equal to 1 over 3. Fine. So let me take a small example on the Wien bridge oscillator. Yeah, here it is. So here we have the frequency sensitive arms of Wien bridge oscillator uses C1, C2, 0.001 microfarad. The value of C1 and C2 are 0.001 microfarad. R1 is 10K, where R2 is kept variable. The frequency is to be varied from 10 kilohertz to 60 kilohertz by varying R2. Find the minimum and maximum value of R2. Okay, so in the Wien bridge oscillator, C1 and C2 are being given, R1 is given, F is varying from 10 kilohertz to 60 kilohertz. So for this, you have to find out what is R2. It's very simple. So use this equation for F. Okay, so we have F is equal to 1 by 2 pi root of R1, R2, C1, C2. Yes, case 1. So I've taken case 1 when f is equal to 10 kilohertz. Yeah. So when f is equal to 10 kilohertz, substitute. So instead of square root, I've just taken it as square. So it is f square is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi square r1, r2, c1, c2. Now which is unknown for us? R2, right? Now substitute all other things. F is 10 square. So R2 is equal to f is 10 square, right? And 2 pi whole square, 4 pi square. And R1 is 10k, C1 and C2, 0.001 microfarad, 0.001 microfarad. So if you simplify, this is what I am getting. R2 is equal to 25.33 kilo. And F, what is the next value of F? Because they have told us to find out the minimum and maximum value of R2 as the frequency varies from 10 kilohertz to 60 kilohertz. So we have found out what is R for 10 kilohertz, and for 60 kilohertz follow the same procedure. Substitute for everything as per this equation. Now get R2 is equal to 704.33 kilo. So the minimum value of R2 is 25.33 K, maximum is 704.33. Fine. So this was about the Wien bridge oscillator. So I'll end my class here.